21 years, 21 million meals.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Have a holly jolly Christmas.
Yay!
Apart again this year, but still banding together to help local families.
I have $21 here.
In a region with so much to give.
It's sad that you see people without food in an area that we have plenty of food that we're throwing away.
Pandemic problems stacking up, and now the need is greater than ever before. But it's not just food.
But also baby supplies, formula, gas, cleaning supplies.
And we can't do it without you.
We're calling on the community to be able to help us continue that push.
Join us as we help to end food insecurity in our own neighborhoods and across Washington. Thank you so much for joining us for our Home Team Harvest Special. I'm Mimi Jung.
And I'm Jake Wittenberg. So glad to see you here on a Saturday morning. Right now, about 1 in 11 local families face food insecurity every single day.
In a recent survey of Washington state households, 37% relied on food assistance during the pandemic. That's up from 30% before the pandemic began. And today you can help us reach our goal of 21 million meals for people across the state.
Yeah, to make that happen, we've teamed up with Northwest Harvest, an organization working to cut food insecurity rates by half by the year 2028.
Our King 5 team is spread out across the region this morning, all with the same mission to help put food on tables across all of our communities. But we are not collecting donations this year to keep people safe and healthy. Instead, we're encouraging you to donate virtually by texting Home Team to 41444. Or you can use your phone to snap that QR code on the bottom right of your screen anytime throughout the show.
Those are pretty slick, aren't they? We're going to start this morning with the Seattle crew, where King 5 Steve Solis and Warm 106.9's Shelly Hart are live at Northwest Harvest Soto Community Market this morning to show us why the need is so great this year. Steve, good morning.
Mimi and Jake, good morning. Yes, we are here in Soto at Northwest Harvest Soto Market, where it's pretty quiet today. They're not open today, which allows us to kind of walk around. Usually this place is pretty busy, and to kind of talk a little bit about what happens at this facility and across the Western Washington area, we want to talk to Thomas Reynolds, who is CEO here at Northwest Harvest. First, Thomas, let's talk a little bit about Northwest Harvest and its mission on a daily basis.
Well, good morning. Yeah, and Home Team Harvest, special day. Northwest Harvest exists so that people across Washington State don't have to experience hunger.
You know, this event we're doing today, this Home Team Harvest, it's the 21st year that we've been doing this. This is not a situation where we come out here just to have a great time, and it's not what it's all about. The reason we are here is because food insecurity in our state is a really big deal, right?
Yeah, about 1 million people in Washington State experience food insecurity. It means they're not sure at the end of the month where that food's going to come from. Organizations like Northwest Harvest and all of our partners across the state provide food for free for anyone who needs it.
So let's talk about the partners. Let's talk about why we are here today, why we're all working together to make this happen. This isn't a situation where you guys do this on your own. You rely on the community to help the community, right?
That's right. And Home Team Harvest is like a day that restores my faith in humanity. Thousands and thousands of people, volunteers, donors, food bank operators across the state come together to make sure that people who are hungry have great food to eat, like fresh produce and grains and things that they need.
So we have people all over the area today as we are talking about how big today is. We're shooting for 21 million meals today. Talk about how big that would be to get that done for this region.
It's a big number, but frankly, it's just a fraction of what we need overall. Over the past 20 years, Home Team Harvest has generated more than 75 million meals for the state of Washington. The need, unfortunately, is really high this year because of the pandemic, and inflation's not helping easier.
Okay, well, we have people all over Western Washington today. You're going to hear from us again a little bit later in the show, but you can get involved today. This isn't a situation where you're watching us do something. You can get involved today. Mimi, Jake, will hand it right back over to you.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Steve. Thank you very much. And the need for food stretches well outside of just Seattle.
Evening hosts Jim Dever and Kim Holcomb live in Linwood this morning at the Latino Educational Training Institute. The best dancers of the morning, for sure.
Thank you.
Get it down,
Thank
you two.
We're at the fun spot.
Almost forgot we're supposed to be dancing.
I'm doing it to keep warm. It's a little
This
cool
is why
out
I don't want to miss any rehearsals. Yeah, we are here at, also known as LETI, L-E-T-I, the Latino Educational Training Institute, a very important partner in the process of reaching out to the community and getting people what they need.
Yes, and so we are going to chat with Marisol Bejarano. Come on over here. You do health and wellness here. And so this organization's been here for 23 years, but can you tell people a little bit about your mission?
Yeah, so Leti really strives to provide the resources and support for our clients, our community, the Spanish-speaking community in South Snohomish County. We really work on training, education, and with the pandemic, we've really moved to, really connecting people with those basic needs. So resources like food, rent assistance, and, all those things that people are really needing.
Yeah. Because it's hard to be educated or to learn when you are hungry or unhoused, right?
Correct. So all of those basic needs that people are worrying about are really kind of pushing those, people who are looking for training and classes just kind of out and just kind of, putting those needs on top. So we really want to have people feel supported here at Leti and just feel like they can be connected to those resources that are really going to help them and their family advance.
And in terms of food, so much of that has been grocery cards, right? Not actual food.
Yeah, so we worked with Safeway to buy $25 gift cards last year and this year as well. And we were able to provide, over 500 cards to the clients that we were serving already. So we were offering those, every 2 weeks or so. And, we were really just kind of helping those clients, buy those other things they couldn't get at the food bank. So, toilet paper, extra fruit and vegetables, any kind of, needs for the house that they weren't able to get before.
Okay, well, thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for everything that you guys do. And it's just one more example of how, by helping Northwest Harvest, you are helping every member of our community. We're so grateful.
Now dance with us.
Because we're the fun location today. Plus, it's keeping us warm.
Yeah, stay warm.
Well, we need to have a competition between fun, how much fun people have on these locations.
It's not just work, it is fun.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
I forgot to mention, so
Please.
don't worry about it. We're going to continue.
That's why we have a second one.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll cut back into them there.
Talk about a tease.
Yeah,
Want to stay tuned to find out what she has to say.
We'll be back with them shortly. And they're right. I mean, we are all one community. I mean, you help everybody. We're all in this together. All right, from north to south, we're moving to, Tacoma this morning. King 5's traffic anchor, Shantae Sumner, and Greg Copeland at Eloise's Cooking Pot Food Bank. Hey, you two, good morning.
Well, good morning, you guys. We're here outside Eloise's Kitchen, as you mentioned. They have been serving the community here in Tacoma for about 12 years, the brainchild of CEO of Making a Difference Foundation, Andrea Blue, who joins us now. We'll get a little bit more history in a moment, but this has been a really important partnership with Northwest Harvest.
And I know, Andrea, you were telling us about, the pandemic. We're still in it, but without Northwest Harvest, everything that's going on in here this morning wouldn't be possible.
It would not have been. With the pandemic, our numbers increased over 150%, and Northwest Harvest was one of our first partners that stepped up and said, hey, we want to help you survive this, and they went over and beyond to make sure that we remained here. And without them, Eloise Cooking Pot would not have been able to have sustained the quick growth.
I was reading up a little bit of the history of how you got into this, and where your mom kind of gave you a choice when you were younger between education and working full time, and you chose education. That really kind of laid the foundation of what you have built today. Among that, Eloise's Kitchen, which bears your mother's name. Walk me through kind of some of that motivation she gave you and how you chose Tacoma.
So Eloise Cooking Pot Food Bank was born out of a situation that was happening at a building that I owned down the street. 2 children, John and Lily, did not look like they were eating on a regular basis. So I decided to buy food for them. Their parents would not take it from me because I was African American. So I decided to hire someone that looked like them and deliver food to the entire building in hopes that the parents would take it, and it worked great. Unfortunately, it was in a down economic time, and my other buildings around it figured out when the food was being delivered and came forth and said, we need food too. And literally, because of John and Lily, Eloise Cooking Pot Food Bank was born.
And one thing that I really admire here, if you come here, guys, they are shopping carts. It's set up like a grocery store so people can, pick out their goods and shop. And really quick, can you tell why that was important for you?
It was really important for us that people ate the food that they normally would eat if they were buying it. We see our clients as our actual customers. So the clients here are able to pick out their own food each day. They're able to come. We give out food based on the amount of food in which we have and not the family size. We're open 5 days a week, and they're able to come actually 5 days a week.
I'll tell you this, guys, everybody's looking for a way to give back. Many of us give $10, $20 or whatever it is to provide a few meals. If you ever want to figure out how to get more involved, read the backstory of Andrea Blue.
Yeah.
It is quite amazing. You guys, back to you.
I never heard that before. That's amazing.
I'm so glad that we're featuring that story. Thank you so much, Greg and Shantae. Well, 29%, that is the percentage of Washingtonians in need of food before the pandemic hit. According to a study by the University of Washington and Washington State, that number is now 42%. So here's a closer look at food insecurity in our state. The need for food assistance is the highest among households with children. About half relied on help both before and still during the pandemic. It's a similar story in BIPOC communities. Above all, food assistance usage is highest among Black, Hispanic, and Indigenous people, and it's a problem that really knows no boundaries, right, Jake?
Right. No, I mean, this is a really eye-opening study that you've just mentioned. As you mentioned, when it comes to food insecurity in the region, 30% pre-pandemic, and then 37 to 42%, as Mimi just said, families in need, according to that study. This is a closer look at the counties in Washington state that have seen the biggest jump in terms of pre-pandemic and during the pandemic. Grays Harbor County, Cowlitz County, 52% of families are in need of some sort of food assistance right now. Think about that. More than half of the people in Cowlitz and Grays Harbor County need some assistance, but it's not far off. In Lewis County, Clark County, everybody has some level of assistance that they need this year. If you break it down in the three most populous counties in Washington state here, Snohomish, King, and Pierce County. Snohomish County saw a 15% jump in need year over year. King 7, Pierce County an 8% jump. So you can help make a dent. How do you make a difference? Several ways to donate right there at your home. You're all hunkered down on a rainy Saturday. You can still make a big difference. You can text the word Home Team to 41444. Just go to king5.com/HomeTeamHarvest and you can help make that dent. All right, Joyce and Mark standing by. So lucky to have the two of you here this morning. Good morning.
This is a wonderful day. We're at Hope Link in Redmond. This nonprofit's been here for 50 plus years providing food and services to people in need. So when you give to the Home Team Harvest, your money comes here and puts food in the hands of families, thousands of families on the east side.
And you know, we've talked a lot on King 5 about health disparities, but one thing we don't talk enough about, and we're going to hear on the other side of the break from a nurse from Swedish Hospital about why we need to focus more on food insecurity and why that's such a big factor in health disparities. So stay with us.
It's a nice Saturday morning, and we're all together here for our Home Team Harvest special as we work to raise 21 million meals for families in need.
We're already seeing a lot of generous donations pouring in. King 5 anchors Joyce Taylor and Mark Wright are live at the nonprofit Hope Link in Redmond speaking to one of our donors. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Yeah, it's great to see both of you there. Chief Quality Officer from Swedish is here, Renee Resiliers-Bomers. Renee, it's great to have you here. This is a big deal for Swedish. Why does Swedish care so much about this issue of food insecurity?
Well, food insecurity really is the fundamental basis of health inequity. Our families, our kids, our community needs nutritious food in order to be healthy. And so it's important for us to really understand what are the barriers to health disparity, and food is one of them.
Yeah. You've been a nurse at Swedish for almost 2 decades, and I asked you, why did you get into this specific work, focusing on getting food to people in our community who need it?
Absolutely. Well, you know, as a nurse at Swedish Hospital, we've seen folks from a multitude of backgrounds. And one thing when we work with especially children and older adults, when we ask, you know, how do you need to get to your resources, we often find that they have tons of barriers. Working on a surgical unit, myself for a number of years, we have found that folks don't have access to food, nutritious food, and they're picking between eating or buying their prescriptions. And so with that, it just kind of threw me into the community benefit aspect of the work and volunteering.
And for children in particular, if they don't have enough food, that impacts absolutely every other aspect of their day, their life.
Absolutely. A mother of 4, you know, if you don't feed your kids, they don't learn as well. They struggle at school. They're thinking about the hunger pains. And so it's so important to make sure to set them up for success socially, academically, and physically. It's important to make sure that they have those nutrition.
Well, Renee, we're grateful that you and Swedish are invested in this process. I just want you parents at home to think for a minute. If you've never been food insecure, and I thank God have never been food insecure, think for a minute what it would be like to look at your kids and see them not have enough food at night and wonder where's our next meal coming from, and the stress and the arguments and all that stuff that happens. That doesn't have to happen, because today Home Team Harvest is helping solve that problem.
And there's so many easy ways to give. You give back every day, and we're so grateful for the work that you do. We're asking you also to donate today. It's so easy. Just text Home Team to 41444 or at your neighborhood grocery store.
Yeah, all right.
Thanks so much.
Send it back into the studio.
Thanks so much, Mark and Joyce. Yeah, and help us to help these families so they don't have to make that critical choice of what to decide to do with their money and where does it go.
Yeah.
Your generosity today does make a huge difference in the lives of people across our state.
As we mentioned, 1 in 11 local families face food insecurity every day. For some, going to the grocery store can truly bring anxiety because families just not sure if they can afford everything they need. How can your money help? Well, this year, your donations go directly to grocery cards to return a sense of dignity to those in need so they can purchase their own groceries, just like everyone else. You can help make that happen. Visit our website, king5.com/HomeTeamHarvest. The easiest way is right there on your phone. Text the word Home Team, one word, to 41444. There's also that handy QR code at the bottom right of your screen. Point it there and click the link and donate today.
Very high tech.
Very.
Now to a King 5 exclusive. Safeway is making an important change to provide more equity to those receiving SNAP benefits. The grocery chain is about to become the first grocers in Washington state to offer online shopping access to SNAP recipients, allowing SNAP customers to shop like everyone else and choose items that fit their dietary needs and cultural preferences. Here's an exclusive first look at the website. The program makes it easier for SNAP customers to pay as well as shop for their food. They'll be able to order groceries on Safeway.com and the Safeway app, as well as take advantage of home delivery and curbside pickup services. The program will launch statewide in January.
They a little bit feeling shameful because you have to do the body language in front of the tons of the shoppers.
The new call to action to help feed community members in need.
Also this morning, coming up in about 8 minutes from now, we'll be unloading a boatload of food. And yes, we mean an actual boat. It's a moment you don't want to miss. First, my buddy Rich has a message.
Hi, I'm Rich Marriott. You know, hunger in our community is an invisible problem. It's going to be one where friends of yours or neighbors may be dealing with hunger on a daily basis. Your child may go to school with a schoolmate who's sitting next to them who is hungry and trying to learn. Not an easy thing. Northwest Harvest exists to serve those people who are hungry, to feed them today, and to work on making hunger a problem of the past here in Western Washington. And importantly, that could happen to any of us that we may need their services. So please donate today. It'll make a difference.
One of the goals of Northwest Harvest is to improve access to healthy food.
As King 5's Angelique Hockaday shows us this morning, that requires communicating in various languages.
This is 西瓜 and 西瓜.
Translating watermelon
蘿蔔係紅蘿蔔.
and carrots from English to Cantonese is just one of Jocasta Lee's jobs as a coordinator at Soto Community Market.
Language is our huge barrier for the misinterpretation, miscommunications often arise and causing some of the conflicts.
Jocasta is a new hire at the no-cost grocery store, brought on to help better serve the large number of Asian and Asian American seniors.
They a little bit feeling shameful because you have to do the body language in front of the tons of the shoppers.
That's a problem for the market, which advocates food is a right.
And come to these Tempta markets with dignity and respect. We're really trying to focus on meeting people where they're at, and part of that is being able to communicate with people.
Nearly 80% of the market's estimated 600 shoppers a day speak Mandarin or Cantonese. Miss Liu is one of those shoppers. She doesn't want to show her face, but tells Jocasta that having her at the market has saved time and made her feel welcome.
During the pandemic and the uncertain environment tends to fill up the hatred and violence towards Asian Americans.
With Jocasta on board, the goal now is to bring in more bilingual volunteers until the market can hire additional staff.
We have, a Spanish-speaking population that we need to be addressing.
That was Angelique Hockaday reporting. For more information on volunteering with Northwest Harvest, you can text the word volunteer to 206-448-4545 and we'll send you a link. And to donate to our Home Team Harvest food drive, you can go to king5.com/hometeamharvest. You can also text Home Team, all one word, to 41444 or donate at your local Safeway or Albertson stores. And there's also a QR code at the bottom of your screen, so you can take out your phone right now and find a link.
It's okay to take a picture of your screen this morning.
There you go.
Full permission. All right, so glad you're waking up with us this morning during our Home Team Harvest special. Lots more to get to as we help families in need. Mark and Joyce standing by in Redmond this morning. How you two?
And up in Linwood, we've got Kim and Jim from Evening holding down the fort, still dancing, still trying to keep warm.
I love it.
They're speaking with our sponsor, Safeway, right after the break. And from the north to the south, down to Tacoma, Shantae and Greg will have much more, including one of our most generous donors, the Muckleshoot Tribe.
Shelley.
We've got Shelley Hart.
Hey, Shelley, good morning.
Well, good morning. And why am I standing in front of a boat at the Soto location? Well, let me tell you, it is a boatload of community support, and that is just ahead.
Northwest Harvest. I was here in the beginning 21 years ago, and we're still making an impact. You can too.
This is absolutely the best day of the year at King 5. It is just our pleasure and honor to be able to do our part to help as many communities as possible here in the Northwest.
Home Team Harvest has such a huge impact on our community. We've been doing it for over 20 years, and it's a great way to help our neighbors in need.
You know, Home Team Harvest is such a great connection to the community. All of us here at the station just love to get involved. I've had my son out there a few times with me, and we've volunteered. So yeah, it's just a great effort by everybody.
I think it's incumbent upon those of us who have to help those of us who don't have, and that's the reason I love Home Team Harvest, because our community comes together to do just that.
21 million meals. That is how much we are hoping to raise during our Home Team Harvest food drive, which is happening right now. So today is your chance to make a difference in the lives of so many who are struggling to put food on their table across our state. Welcome back. I'm Mimi John.
I'm Jake Wittenberg. Good to see you all on a Saturday morning. According to the USDA, food insecurity has reached 11% in Washington state. That number has been up dramatically, with households earning less than $35,000 a year.
Food insecurity is especially high in households with children, Black and Indigenous and people of color, and those who identify as transgender, non-binary, or other.
We have King 5 crews fanned out across the region on your Saturday morning, all with the same mission. Sorry, Jim, you always make me laugh up there in the corner. All of you trying to help spread the word about food insecurity in our state. One of the organizations putting in the work to make this happen, Safeway and Albertsons.
Let's get to evenings. Kim Holcomb and Jim Dever in Linwood. They're dancing because this is why. You know what? Giving back brings you joy, right?
So true. And it keeps you warm.
It does.
On a day like today.
It's got a fringe benefit. It does keep you warm.
So we're going to have Sarah Osborne dance her way over
Why
with
don't you
us.
get in right here in the middle?
See, we're having the best
you
time
need to
here.
anchor the dance troupe, Sarah.
Yes. But Sarah's here to talk a little bit about how Safeway and Albertsons is helping this year, and really that grocery cards are becoming the big focus. Talk a little bit about why.
Right, so the grocery cards fill the gaps. Like, food banks are certainly our biggest partner in fighting food insecurity, but what we learned during the pandemic is that it takes much more than food banks. They cannot do it alone. So we have service organizations, clinics, schools who are now able to join the fight against hunger and not have to procure food, store food, distribute food. They just simply have a grocery card that they can distribute to their clients.
So how do customers help out in the effort?
So we're, we have the pin pad donation, so it's $5, $10, or $12. They donate at the register, and then it goes to an organization local in their area and straight to households that need the funds.
And can you just talk a little bit about what it means for a client or a person who's getting that grocery card in terms of them being able to make their own choices when they go shopping?
Right, so this is what we've heard most of all, is that it not only provides them food, but just the dignity to make their own choices and how they shop for and how they feed their families, as well as maybe like get some of their favorite foods, some of their, consistent with their cultural preferences, to provide that comfort when their families need it most.
How important is it for you to work with community partners like Letty here?
Yeah, so our community partners are such a key to the success of this, because they provide services as well, so it's not just food. You know, they're going to take care of the basic needs, but then they go beyond that with training, education, other things that are needed. So they're not just helping, but they're empowering them to become self-sufficient and just live better lives.
And people inside your own stores in Washington State have been doing a lot of work to help out with this as well, yeah?
Yeah, we really want to give a shout out to our store teams. I mean, this has been a tough 2 years for them, but they continue to serve their communities and even go further by raising millions of dollars for grocery cards to distribute to people throughout the community, so everybody has access to our stores.
Okay, thank you,
That
Sarah.
is so wonderful.
We're out of time for the interview, but the dancing continues.
The dancing continues. Be inspired,
goodness for
help
that.
out like all of those employees at Safeway and Albertsons.
Thank you all.
That's
That's
really
such a
good.
great
You're a
point
good
that Sarah
dancer.
raises there too. Just, you know, even the folks at Safeway and Albertsons themselves, their families need some extra help. So to go the extra mile, that's just so impressive.
Absolutely. And food banks across the state are scrambling this holiday season as the price of groceries and gas skyrocket.
Yeah, we've all felt that. King 5's Jessica Janner Castro explains the new challenge for our Home Team Harvest partners, Northwest Harvest.
We keep hearing lately about supply chain issues, and we've seen the images of containers stuck on Puget Sound and across America. But how exactly are the boat bottleneck or supply chain disruptions hitting our local food banks? At Northwest Harvest, they're being affected in two big ways.
We're seeing increased need at our doors. We're also seeing it impact us in terms of the cost of food that we are purchasing to distribute as well.
Let's break that down even more. Right now, the cost of nearly everything is up, and that means families on a tight budget can purchase less. More people are showing up at places like the Soto Community Market. For the food bank, that means more mouths to feed and increase in demand. Compounding the problem, Northwest Harvest has less purchasing power. Their dollars are also being stretched thin. Yes, the food bank relies on donations, but their monetary donations go toward buying things. And remember how I said the cost of nearly everything is up? That means a decrease in supply.
It's been a crunch on everyone.
Supply chain issues have not only increased the price of food like carrots or beans or household items like baby wipes. They're also seeing the impacts of actually getting the items here. The cost of trucking has increased.
Transportation itself has added probably 25-30% just in transportation to the normal cost of sourcing and procuring food. What traditionally has taken 7 to 10 business days on a purchase has at times taken 8 to 10 weeks.
Fewer volunteers have been available during the pandemic, which means less help to package bulk items. That in turn has forced Northwest Harvest to buy more prepackaged items, which tend to be more expensive. And finally, donations have been harder to come by. That's why they need help this year more than ever.
I don't see it much different than last holiday season. I imagine that we may go through potentially another holiday season with the need before there's real visible recovery.
So it's safe to say the supply chain issues are affecting everyone nationwide, including food banks. At the Soto Community Market, I'm Jessica Janner Castro for King 5 News.
And as you just heard Jessica mention there, Northwest Harvest's need for donations is greater than ever.
But a massive boatload of food is about to make a huge difference. When I first heard that we're having a boatload of food delivered, I thought, oh, that means a lot of food.
It's an expression.
No, we're talking literally a boat. So let's get back to Soto Market right now. Shelly Hart with 106.9 is here with us and unloading all that food. Good morning, Shelly.
Yeah. Good morning, and we're going to get to that boatload of food. First of all, I can't help but notice the numbers stacking up. 21st anniversary, 21 million meals, 21 days until Christmas. So we're hanging out with a longtime friend of Home Team Harvest, and this is Allison Helfin, and she's got a nice surprise for us before we get to that boatload. Hi, what do you have here?
So we have collected money from all of our staff, and Union Marine matched it. So we are presenting a check for $7,400.
$7,400, look at that. From Union Marine, that is the community, looking out for community, and a longtime friend of Home Team Harvest. Thank you, and you're so generous. We appreciate that. Now, that boatload of food. Let's meet Rob Pedrini, another longtime friend with Pacific Nautique. What do you have going on here?
Well, we have a fantastic 2 boatloads of food this year. So we got the G23 Nautique filled up. We got Juan, we got Tavin, we got Blake, we got my wife Kelly here all unloading it. And we have fantastic, loyal customers at Pacific Nautiques and Union Marine. And without them, we couldn't do this. And our scenario is a little bit creates a lot. So if we all come out and just give a little bit, we can fill a lot more of these boats.
Yeah, and that's true, Rob. A little bit goes a long ways. And that's why you don't even have to go anywhere today. Right from where you are, stay with King 5, and you can text to donate from home. Text Home Team to 41444. Nice going.
Well, fantastic. Please do. Please text. Let's get that 21 million.
Back to you, Jake and Mimi. I got a boatload of food I got on
you
to.
do.
Okay.
That is impressive. I love that. 21 million meals, 21st year, 21 days to Christmas.
That's right.
Couldn't have
That's
planned it
pretty
any better.
amazing. There you go. Let's get out to the east side now. We've got Joyce Taylor and Mark Wright at Redmond's HopeLink nonprofit. Good morning, Joyce.
Good morning. Great to see you guys, and thanks to all of you for joining us. So I have Dr. Catherine Cushenberry here, the CEO of HopeLink, which serves the east side. Pretty big region, Shoreline, Kirkland, Bellevue, Carnation. A lot of people don't think of this region as an area that's food insecure, but how important is HopeLink for people in this area?
HopeLink is essential to this area, and as you said, the assumption is that the need isn't here, but the need is great. And that's the scariest type of need, is the kind you don't see so publicly, but it is essential, and we're so grateful to be able to provide the services to our residents on this side who need it and need it most.
And we know the need is greater than it's ever been. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, what we've experienced, especially since COVID, is we've seen an increase in the need around food insecurity, especially, and also understanding what need looks like. So we've had clients come in who you just wouldn't expect, right? So you'll see a Mercedes drive up, someone with a designer bag, and you think, do they need it? Absolutely. That is what COVID has taught us, is that need is great and it is varied. It's important for us to not look at the need of the person, like who are they, but to make sure that we're providing the services that they need.
This region was very lucky to get you to come here all the way from Tennessee because you have personal experience with food insecurity. I do. Tell us more.
Yeah, thank you so much. My family in Memphis as well as DC, we were recipients of, at that time they called it WIC services and government services and assistance, and it meant the world to us. It was the thing that was foundational in helping us have some of those core basic needs. And I'm so grateful for the family that I was raised in, because not only did we get a chance to receive the services, but my grandmother especially taught me the importance of, even when you're in need, to give back. So there was a measure of volunteerism, and it all came together for me here at HopeLink.
So getting those core basics, which is so important, especially for children. Thanks for the work that you do with HopeLink. We really, really appreciate it. Of course, you don't do it alone. Mark is here with another person who is just really a key person here at HopeLink.
All right,
Mark.
thanks you too. Matt Campbell is the Director of Food Programs here. So Matt, you've been part of Home Team Harvest for 15 years. Tell us what the efficiency is like. I don't think people at home understand. When they give $1, how far does that go here?
It goes a lot further than if you could just go to your local grocery store and do that. So we're purchasing food by the truckload. So if I'm buying 20 pallets at a time, it's a lot more efficient. So we do a really good job of going out and shopping and sourcing and find the best buy for our dollar.
Yeah, we've got pictures of farmers on the wall. You guys partner with farmers, which is really cool. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, people pull up here. The need during the pandemic is great, isn't it?
It's immense. It's hard to measure how immense it is. We're seeing people that we've never seen before, people who've never ever been to a food bank before are coming up and needing our service. And we're so thankful that donors have continued to support us, volunteers continue to come in, and that we've been able to meet the need because the need is so great right now.
Yeah, HopeLink has been around for more than 50 years. Many different services, including food insecurity and transportation and all kinds of things. So when you guys give your money, it goes to such good benefit at places like HopeLink. So, and if you need help, look up hopelink.org and you guys can get help. So thanks to everybody here at HopeLink. Keep up the great work. We're going to send it back to you in the studio and give.
Yes, you can't give enough. Absolutely. Home Team right there at the bottom of your screen. Text that to 41444. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Joyce. And thanks to Matt Campbell. He's been here since almost the beginning as well. All right, Shantae and Greg live in Tacoma this morning at Eloise Cooking Pot Food Bank. You two, good morning.
Hey guys, when you think of food insecurity, you don't necessarily think of chocolate.
But maybe you should. We'll tell you how that chocolate is making a difference after the break.
And taking you live back out to Soto Market in Seattle, where they are unloading that huge boat full of food.
Before we head to break, we also want to thank Albert Lee Appliances for their generous donation of $25,000 to Home Team Harvest. Incredible. The 3-generation family-owned business dedicated to serving and helping others That money is sure to go a long way. Our Home Team Harvest special continues right after this.
Welcome back. We want to thank everyone who's helping us work toward 21 million meals this year.
Yeah, maybe you've scanned that QR code this morning or text Home Team to 41444. Every penny counts, and every donation provides nutritious food to children, seniors, veterans, families, you name it, throughout the region. We could not do it without you or our generous donors. Let's get to Shantae, Sumner and Greg Copeland in Tacoma, speaking to one especially sweet donor this morning.
You know what this is? You know what this is, don't you?
Oh, I do.
It's chocolate.
I do.
It's good chocolate, too. It's something you think of more of as an indulgence, not necessarily equate it to food insecurity. But
You probably should start thinking about it that way. Today we have with the CEO and owner of Seattle Chocolates, Gene Thompson, and tell us about your partnership with Northwest Harvest and how your chocolate is making a difference.
Well, we've been partnering with Northwest Harvest for the past 18 years and are really proud to be part of the home team. And this bar that you were holding in your hand, Jeff,
is... Oh, please.
I promise to give it back to you. It's called J Coco, and it's a brand that we came about with a built-in philanthropic mission right from the very start of helping to stomp out hunger in the United States. So we've been partnering with Northwest Harvest to help with food insecurity in our own backyard in Washington State. So this is a food, essentially, but it's a food that we can maybe live without. I personally cannot, but this helps people get healthy food, and it's, you know, we're very aligned with Northwest Harvest in that they're very concerned about delivering healthy choices to people, and this is, you know, healthy ingredients from the start.
Well, it's good chocolate. It's not, you know, bad chocolate.
It's fine chocolate.
See, there you go. How did you get into this? How did you decide to make that step?
We just wanted to do something. We felt like America's favorite flavor is chocolate, and so we thought we could use the power of chocolate. People are going to eat it and they're going to buy it every day anyway. Use the power to help our people, our consumers, help their neighbors in their time of need.
So it's that simple. Buy some chocolate, help feed people who need it. Okay, can I have this back, please?
Definitely doesn't get
Thank you.
easier
Thanks, Gene.
than that.
There you go. Buy some chocolate, help with food insecurity. It's that simple.
Happy holidays.
Thank
That
you
is
so
sweet.
much.
Thank you so
Yes, it is sweet. Northwest Harvest is preparing to make a big leap to Eastern Washington, a move to help improve access to food across our state. We want to get back out to SoDo Community Market one last time.
That's right. Steve Solis and Warm 106.9 Shelley Hart with CEO of Northwest Harvest to show us more about the future of the organization. Steve, good morning.
Good morning, Jake and Mimi. Yeah, so we are, of course, talking about food insecurity. It's not just a Western Washington problem. It's sadly a statewide problem. Thomas Reynolds with Northwest Harvest joining me again. So talk a little bit about the future of Northwest Harvest and really the expansion across the state.
Well, we're looking at Washington State. Washington State is changing. So many new communities arriving here. We want to be relevant for all of them. Unfortunately, food insecurity impacts people who have recently arrived in the United States, experience lack of jobs, some people without housing. So we want to make sure that what we do is relevant to them. Washington farmers are some of the most generous people here in Washington State, and we're going to be undertaking a major expansion in the Yakima Valley.
So talk a little bit about, we know that there are so many people, not just here, Eastern Washington also, dealing with food insecurity. Talk a little bit about how people now can get involved and help push this mission forward.
Yeah, people all across Washington State support Northwest Harvest through donations and through volunteering. We have operations in Spokane, Yakima, down in Southwest Washington, here in Seattle, in Kent. These are all places where you can come and get involved. You can donate, you can contribute food. All of that is really helpful for people who are struggling with hunger.
Okay, and I want you guys to know that this is a very, very important mission. Thomas, let's just talk about what's happening here in Western Washington today. You have people responding with boats full of food, people who are stepping up to the plate with money. Talk about how every single donation really does make a difference today.
It makes an extraordinary difference. I mean, we have a lot of people who struggle with hunger here in Washington State, but when neighbors help neighbors, that's the type of community I want to live in. And that's what we see today with Home Team Harvest.
So clearly there are people all over Western Washington today helping out. It does not end today. If you want to continue to help and you don't have the time today, do it tomorrow. You have until the end of the month really to help out, and honestly, you have until any day. You can do this any day of the year. You can help out Northwest Harvest and their mission. Again, big day today, Home Team Harvest. Help out. Help out. As a kid who actually relied on places like Northwest Harvest, it was a huge blessing for me. You're blessing so many people across Western Washington. You're helping them make it to the next day. Thomas, thank you so much for what you guys do here at Northwest Harvest. We're so thankful. I'll send it back to you.
And it does make us feel so good to know that people in our community are all helping out. Neighbors helping neighbors, as Thomas said. Thank you, Steve. And we are seeing so much support pour in for Home Team Harvest to make sure no family goes hungry this holiday season.
It really makes you feel how easy it is to help other people.
How one couple's simple act of kindness is inspiring their own community to help local families in need.
Plus, looking back at Eloise's cooking pot in Tacoma coming up, we're speaking with the Muckleshoot tribe about the very generous donation that Greg and Shantae just took in.
And thank you to mashedpotatoes.org and FC Bloxham Company for donating 40,000 pounds of potatoes to Home Team Harvest.
A lot of spuds.
To date, yeah, they've delivered nearly 1 million pounds of potatoes to Northwest Harvest.
Welcome back to our Home Team Harvest special. You know, Northwest Harvest supports hundreds of food banks and other programs.
And it's only possible because of generous donations like the one we just got from the Muckleshoot tribe. Shantae and Greg have more from Tacoma.
Oh, good morning, Jake and Mimi. Yes, we are still here in Tacoma with a very big check, and it's coming from the Muckleshoot tribe. We have Pedrini White here with us. And Pedrini, tell us about that donation.
Well, hot too. Good morning. My name is Pedrini White. I'm from the Muckleshoot tribe, and I'm here as a representative to provide this donation. On behalf of our tribal leadership, they have a commitment statewide to contribute and support communities, vulnerable communities. And so with that, I'll say thank you to Northwest Harvest, but also to King 5. Your partnership is wonderful. It's amazing. We raise our hands to you for all of the resources that you provide the communities, and thank you.
I know we've been doing this many years, and every year you guys turn out and have that big check, and which goes a long way. I know this is big for you guys. You guys get some pretty big donations, but talk about this one in particular.
We are so proud to be partners with Muckleshoot Tribe. This is a large gift. They've been giving to us since 2003. The partnership is long and strong, over $210,000, and adding this check, another $50,000, makes us so able to move through the rest of the holidays. We're grateful for this partnership.
Thank you.
We talk a lot about some of the smaller donations and everybody getting involved, but how big are these big donations and helping you guys do what you need to do, which is so much behind the scenes that we can't even get to?
Every donation matters. Every single donation matters. We know that this represents not just this tribe, but the giving of the native tribal communities. And we also understand that with our 375 partners throughout the state of Washington, we need every family caring about their neighbors. We are so able to do that because tribes step up and King 5 steps up, and we make this the way to end the year in a way that takes us into the next year, able to take care of vulnerable families.
We're all in it. We're all in it together, right? Thanks, you guys. Really appreciate it.
And as they mentioned, every donation counts, so it's not too late to get involved.
Guys,
Absolutely.
That is a lot of love right there.
$50,000.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Just think about where that can go. Thank you so much, Greg and Shantae. We've heard the statistic several times throughout the show today. 1 in 11 households in our state don't know where their next meal will come from. And every year, people in our community are doing different things to make a difference. Here's one example. After hearing about the increased need at food banks last year, Jenny and Ryan Baldwin of Redmond went to Safeway to donate virtual grocery bags. They then put out a call on social media asking their friends and family to do the same, and people ended up donating 1,000 virtual grocery bags. Well, this year they upped their goal to 1,500.
I think one thing about this particular donation is that it feels so tangible. Even though people are giving virtual bags, you can visualize a bag of groceries. Everyone's purchased a bag of groceries at some point.
And they ended up crushing their goal in the Baldwin Bag Challenge. They got a total of 1,675 virtual bags. So if you do the math, that ends up to be more than $16,000 raised for Home Team Harvest. Just one example of how one person, one couple can make a difference.
Yeah, they just woke up one day and said, we want to make a big difference. And look what happens. It's that easy. You still have a chance to make a difference as well. And there are so many ways to donate. And we're doing this not through just today when you're watching this, but for the the weeks to come. Visit king5.com/HomeTeamHarvest or pull out your phone, text Home Team to 41444. That's Home Team, one word, or visit your local Safeway or Albertsons.
Your donations really do go such a long way, especially during the holidays and during this global pandemic when the need is even greater.
Through our Home Team Harvest, boy, we've made a big difference. And we've had a lot of fun doing it. Hope that you keep your family safe and consider contributing anytime through the month of December.
From our crews out in Seattle, Linwood, Tacoma, and Redmond, thank you so much for joining us as we strive to make a difference in the lives of others across our communities for the 21st year in a row.